Do kids still get excited about video games like that? Let's talk about it.
Hello, welcome to a video. Oh, you noticed my hat. Yes, Hyper Fox, Fabrics and Textiles, professional fabricator of textiles. Get one now. Get a hat, get a shirt. This is my merch brand. I hope you like it. So, in this video, I wanted to talk about how I feel the excitement for video games amongst children nowadays is a lot different than the excitement for video games for children in my days. Back in the 80s and 90s, children lost their minds when they got new video games for Christmas or their birthdays. When the new system was coming out, you couldn't wait. Now, I feel it's a little different, but I want to really look at this and see if I'm falling victim of that thing of like, oh, things were better in the 80s, things were better in the 90s. Before I get into the video game conversation, let me start with this. I saw a video recently that it showed Al Bundy from the sitcom Married with Children, and it said Al Bundy was a part-time shoe salesman, and he could afford a 2-story house in the suburbs, feed all of his kids, and have a car. Now we can't even buy a house working a full-time job. And I want to say that's kind of unfair. And the whole point of bringing this up is because it's sort of part of the same conversation where people were like, oh, things were different back then. But it's just your perspective. You think it was different, but it's really not that much different now. Yes, things do change. It is harder to buy a house now. I'm 44. I can't afford to buy a house. But my parents, who never could afford to buy a house, until 1997, my parents worked at a horse barn shoveling horse poop, and that's what they did when they barely scrapped enough money together to buy a house, and they were always like behind on the mortgage, so we weren't really pulling it off. But to get back to Al Bundy, he was a part-time shoe salesman and he could afford all this stuff. No, it was a TV show. In the 80s and 90s, my parents worked full time and they couldn't afford to buy a house. So that is unrealistic. That show wasn't real. So I want to make sure I'm not falling victim of that, where I'm saying things were better back then. Kids got more excited about video games. Now they don't get excited about video games. Or if you have kids and your kids have lost their minds when they get video games, please tell me, because I haven't really seen it. I did a little deep dive on the internet looking for at the PlayStation 5 launch, which was during COVID. Granted, I waited for the PlayStation 5 in 2021. It was the pandemic, and I waited for 8 hours. I streamed it on this channel. I'll show you footage.
UPS is here. How did I miss? I know Logan been sitting outside since 9 a.m. waiting for you.
Oh, really?
I have a very important package I don't want to miss.
I waited for the UPS guy to show up to the apartment building I was living in because I was dying to get this thing. It was a year later. It came out the November before, and this was like exact 12 months later. But that's when I could afford it, and then I got it, and I was pumped to get this thing. I'm still pumped to get video games. I'm not pumped about the Switch 2. Don't really care. I kind of like lost interest in Nintendo and the Switch, but I am beyond excited for Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm going to the midnight release. I'm going to wait in line outside of the store, just like everyone did in the 80s, 90s, and the early 2000s. I am so excited for GTA 6. So excited. And I'm going to do the same thing for the PlayStation 6. I wanted to do that for PlayStation 5, but we had a pandemic going on. So now if we don't have that situation happening, I will be waiting in line for the PlayStation 6 whenever that comes out. Everyone's just so overstimulated that no one really cares anymore for the new system, because everything's a new system and you got a screen in front of yourself all the time. So you're not really as pumped to get this new screen. It was different before, I feel. I might be wrong, and I might be just using old man skewed logic and using my memories to skew my perspective, but I feel like because you're always looking at a screen now, you don't care about this new device. There's new devices coming out all the time. So when Switch 2 comes out, you're like, okay, it's just a bigger Switch, I guess. PlayStation 6, it's like, all right, a sixth one. It's going to look a little bit better, I guess. But PlayStation 2 was like, oh my God, they did another one. Because PlayStation 1 was a brand new thing. And so 2 is like, it's still exciting. And back when it was Sega Genesis and then Sega Saturn and then Sega Dreamcast, it was completely different. It's like they use discs now. This is crazy. The changes were different. So I think that plays a part into it, as well as just overstimulation and not caring as much. My parents got us a Sega Genesis the Christmas that everyone got it. It came out the summer before, and I only knew a few rich kids who had it that summer, and I played Sonic at one kid's house, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. My parents were working at the horse barn then, literally shoveling horse poop. That's what they did. And we had no money. We rented a really small house. My parents slept on the outside porch that they turned into a bedroom. So we were very poor. And we got a Sega Genesis. I had no expectation to get this thing at all. So when we got it, it blew my mind. I was so pumped. We were doing the cliche. I wish I had footage, but we were doing the cliche thing of like, oh my gosh, I'm a very excitable person. If you've seen my videos, and I still get like that now. I lost my mind when I got that. Me and my two brothers, Josh and Seth, we just couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable. It was incredible. That is what I want kids to do now when Xbox Z29 comes out, but they don't, because there's just so many Xboxes, and there's a lower tier Xbox. Oh, here's the slimmer one. There's too many things. It's not as special anymore, I feel. And I'm probably just doing old man screaming at the clouds, but that's how it feels to me, because I don't see those Christmas morning videos of kids spazzing out opening a new system. The only channel I've seen that sort of captured this was My Retro Life, which a lot of you might know. It's this guy that has a channel where his dad documented like his whole youth opening systems through the 90s and 80s. He took his kids to GameStop for the midnight release of the Switch 2, but it sort of felt like he was so super excited for this, so his daughter was like, oh, I'm excited too because you're so excited. It was clear the dad is more excited because that's his thing, is a YouTube channel about it. And yes, the kid was excited. The kid wants a new video game. That's cool and exciting. But it just didn't have like the spaz levels of excitement.
Also, can I say that I think Nintendo really dropped the ball when they didn't name it the Super Switch? Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Switch, Super Switch. You blew it, Nintendo.
In the year 2000, I worked at Target, and that was right before Christmas came. The PlayStation 2 was coming out. And I was like, holy crap, I'm going to be here when the shipments come. So when the time came for the systems to get delivered, my boss said, you can only put out 3 at a time. We can't put them all out and then just sell them out. People will just buy them all. They wanted to have them in the store. So if people walked by, they'd be like, hey, you got a PlayStation 2? I'll take that. I snagged 2 and I hid them in the trash under the register. One was for myself. I was buying it for my older brother Josh. I was going to surprise him, and I was buying it for him for Christmas, and I got a store discount, so that was good. And then another one I saved for my friend. So I remember this time being like super covert. I was like, oh my God, it felt like I had like like the Mona Lisa smuggled under the cabinet. When they would come in and they go out, I couldn't believe I was saying, oh my God, this is the box. This is the box. It's blue. Oh, I can't see the system. It's so mysterious. I was really like nervous and pumped on this thing, because it was this thing you've heard so much about. The PlayStation 2 is coming. Now it's here. And I have access to them. I've touched them before any of my friends. It was crazy. I feel like if I worked at a store now and the PlayStation 6 was coming up, I'd be like, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm going to touch a PlayStation 6 before anyone else touched it. This is crazy. Maybe like growing up in the 80s and 90s, like programmed your brain to be different. Like this is like holy grail kind of stuff. New video games, that's incredible. Maybe kids are just more like chill and calm, and like the energy of this generation, Gen Z or whatever it is, maybe they're just like more relaxed. And not millennials are just spazzes, and we got excited about other things that aren't that big a deal because we got nothing else going on in our lives and we just need toys to keep us happy. But the last thing that I heard about where kids were like losing their minds for was Fortnite, which was like mostly a PC game. I guess you can get it on Switch, but that wasn't like an item you could unbox really. You download games now. So maybe that's a part of why the excitement isn't the same, because a lot of the games are just download. You don't get the physical thing and open it and get to look at it and touch it and read about it and smell the plastic. My brother's kids are both teenagers, and neither of them really get pumped. They played Switch when they were little, which wasn't that long ago, 2017, I guess, like 8 years ago. They don't really care about Switch 2. They play PC games, or at least one of them does. They play Minecraft, or they did. They just don't really like get like what me and their father did, where we like spaz out. And maybe that's a sign of the times. Maybe that's just millennials and our ADD, Ritalin fueled, Mountain Dew fueled behavior. I remember when the Nintendo 64 came out, I was in high school. I think, yes, 1996, I think it came out. I graduated in 99, so I was like a freshman or a sophomore. I feel like I was in high school when every system came out. But when it came out, my mom let me stay home. She knew how big a deal this thing was. My mom was cool like that. But I remember playing Shadows of the Empire all day. It was so, I like could cry right now thinking about it. That was such a good day. Playing that, I can feel the controller in my hand. I'm still so, maybe this is a thing, like I'm so like madly in love with the experience of playing a new video game system and holding a new toy and hearing the clacking of the joystick and the analog and the buttons, like everything. It's like beautiful. I loved that experience so much. And I don't know if kids get that experience when they play a game. There's times where I have to pause. When I'm playing Red Dead 2, I mean, a man in my 40s playing Red Dead 2, I will have moments where I'll pause and be like, it couldn't get better than this. I'm holding this controller and I'm having the best time of my life. I will genuinely take a moment and pause to appreciate how much fun I'm having. It's incredible how much a digital imagery can cause joy in my brain. Video games are the greatest thing ever made. When the 64 came out, I lost my mind. I played it. I was obsessed with it. And I just hope that if I have a kid someday, which I'm planning on doing now, whatever system comes out, PlayStation 7 probably by then, or maybe they'll be calling it something different. I hope they call it something different. I think the numbers are just getting kind of played out. You got to reinvent yourself. You got to do something different. That's what I like about Nintendo, even though I don't really like Nintendo stuff anymore. But I like that they brand it differently, they market it differently. I'm ranting and rambling here, but I hope if I have kids, they get pumped. Maybe it's just this current generation. I'm thinking too deep into this. Maybe it's not that big a deal. It's just like, all right, no one cares about video games anymore. Get it over it, old man. I don't know. Please send me things to prove me wrong, because I want to know kids are getting pumped on toys or video games. Mostly video games is what I want to know. But maybe there's toys out there that I'm not aware of that kids are like going nuts for, other than Labubu's. And even teenagers and guys and girls in their 20s getting Halo on Halo launch day, in the year 2000 or whatever, later than 2000s. Camping out, getting snacks, getting a ton of Mountain Dews, having LAN parties, doing these big multiplayer gaming nights at midnight. You don't see that anymore. I think. I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Please let me know. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Let's do part 2. See you later. Bye.